Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Studs Up podcast. I am Garfield. I'm here with my co-host Simon Says.
Hey, yo.
And this week we're going to be talking about a review of the last Premier League round. We've got so much to talk about. We'd also love your feedback. So please log onto our Facebook page. Just type in Studs Up into Facebook. It comes straight up. Like us on there. You can listen to the podcast on there and you can make some comments as well. Or you can find us on our website. It's studsup-football.com. So, without further ado, let's get into the review of the week's round. Whatever it is, just let's start reviewing the games.
The Studs Up podcast. All right. It was a massive week. Tons of goals again. I feel like the Bundesliga almost.
It is a bit Bundesliga-y, isn't it? That's a very good comment, actually.
I kind of said that on the website, and I said it last week. Every week that goes past, it feels more and more like the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
But with, and I mean no disrespect to the Bundesliga, it's like the Bundesliga if the Bundesliga was tough.
Yeah, if the Bundesliga was just hard yakka.
Yeah, hard yakka. So it's amazing. So in many ways, this is a league made for Klopp and Guardiola.
Oh, it's made for Klopp, my friend. This league is Klopp all over. We should start on that game.
Starting point.
It was the Friday night game.
Match of the round. Definitely a game that I was excited to see, and I didn't tip it in the studio. I tipped a loss. I tipped a 3-2 loss. Chelsea to win 3-2. You tipped a 2-2 draw.
I did.
We were both wrong. You're at least... Actually, both of us tipped 2 goals for Liverpool.
Yeah. So we were right on that front.
We just got it wrong on how many Chelsea would score.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what happened? All I can say is that Liverpool again really impressed me.
Did they what?
We have to talk about Jordan Henderson's goal.
What was that? Where did that come from?
From the deep, dark crevices of his... I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
But that came from somewhere, and somewhere very not Jordan Henderson.
Henderson-y?
I think he borrowed it from Steven Gerrard.
He did. He was channeling Gerrard there, wasn't he?
He had a chat to Stevie before the match. He said, look, you're not borrowing your right boot. I'm just going to hit it from nowhere. I'm going to be sitting on the bench, in Bolton, and I'm going to hit it from there, and it's just going to go in.
I know. When I saw it, I was like, please, that's not going to... Oh, crap. Wow.
It just flew in.
It just flew, didn't it?
And it was unstoppable. I mean,
it was.
Cannot fall. I've actually not been impressed with Thibaut Courtois basically since everyone proclaimed him as the best keeper in the world.
As the next great thing. Yeah.
When he dethroned Czech.
Yeah.
But this was not his fault. I mean,
to be fair as well, though, he was doing insanely well at Atletico, and he came over and everyone went, whoa, this guy's amazing. And ever since they sold Czech, he's just...
I hate to admit it to you, but it's totally true. It's almost like he's not been able to deal with the pressure.
Yeah.
But Liverpool have dealt with the pressure. And I am not trying to throw cold water on this. This is not just trying to prepare myself for losses that I think are coming or whatever. This is the truth is, if you have a look at the games we've played.
We've played tough games.
Arsenal, we won. We've played Leicester, we won. We played
Chelsea,
we won. We played Tottenham, we drew. But we lost to Burnley.
Yeah, but I'm going the other way with you guys.
Typical Liverpool.
But this is, in many ways, this is the best run of form for you guys in terms of having all your hard fixtures now. Because it'll give you guys belief to know what you can do against the good teams.
Yeah,
so when you come up against teams like Burnley, you'll have that self-belief that there is a goal just around the corner. They will defend deeper.
Where was the goal when we played? At Turf Moor.
I get it.
Where was it?
I get it, but it's just going to give you enough self-belief that against those teams that are going to defend deeper, you'll have Coutinho there to do his little 35-yard shots every 4 minutes, and eventually one will fly and you'll win. But I shouldn't pay him out too much. He's a good player. But you're going to... He's got it. Like that team now has it.
Pogba.
Well, yeah, no, that's factually accurate. We'll get to him later. I think, though, that now you're building enough of a really solid team there, and you can see how Klopp's bringing it all together with the attacking intent, that even against those teams that are going to defend deep against you, you're going to start ripping open gaps.
Well, I just figure that if we play badly enough in defence, then even the teams that want to sit back will still be enticed
try to
go forward.
Yeah. So it's a cute theory. It's a very cute theory.
It's all I have.
Yeah. I couldn't see Tony Pulis rocking up to Anfield and going, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to attack.
I agree. I do agree. But can we talk about Chelsea? I know we made fun of David Luiz, and I genuinely think he was the reason why Liverpool had such opportunities in defence. He wasn't alone. He wasn't alone. Cahill did not have a good match either.
No, he did not.
But David Luiz, no matter what you say about Sideshow Bob, he's not a defender.
No,
he can't defend.
It's surreal watching him in that back four. You just kind of
he
watch.
doesn't make the attackers second guess their forward runs
No.
at all. They do not second guess themselves. Sturridge had his way with him.
Yeah.
There was just literally not a moment of the match where I didn't think we could win it.
No, there was no point in that game that I thought, oh, Louise will have him here.
Yeah, no way.
He just kept getting overrun, a wave after wave after wave of attack.
Correct.
And you were good for your 2-1 win. You were really good.
I think so too. I mean, I'm willing to say that against the top teams, I have a lot of belief. I've still yet to find that same belief when we go to the teams we should be beating. I don't want to call them lower teams because they've all pretty much, apart from Stoke, have all proven that they can get up.
Yeah.
In big matches.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to call them small teams. That's belittling, and I don't want to do that. I just feel that teams that theoretically Liverpool, given the team we are, we should be beating them. That's where I think our season's going to be won and lost because we always do well against these big clubs. In the last 3 or 4 seasons where we've not played well, we've still beaten City, we've still beaten United, we've still beaten Chelsea.
Yep.
We still do it. We do it every single season. But we don't win the games we need to win.
But I think you finally have the personnel now to start making inroads into those smaller teams. I mean, you've got the speed of Mane, which is going to help you so much. You've got Firmino now, who's found his feet in this league, who can play as a false nine, who can close, who can score goals.
Draw players out wide.
Exactly. Or you've still got a target man, if you need to put balls in the box or you need someone to hold up play for you. You've now got enough versatility in that squad to make the smaller teams think, can we just... Yeah, well, Lallana's doing so well in that kind of deeper withdrawn role, and he's just owning it. He's become the quintessential Klopp player.
He has.
I really think that you guys are going to have a really good season. I've said this before.
So what do you make of Chelsea in that regard then? So you're talking about Liverpool, resurgent, rampant in many ways. I mean, you said it, I think maybe it might have been on a forum, but Liverpool as an attacking side are irresistible at the moment.
Absolutely.
Does that just mean Chelsea
They remind me so much of 99 United.
They do.
Remember when United had Giggs and Beckham and it was just balls forward and crosses and
even if they were down 1-0.
That's right. They would
still said,
"Yep, we'll just come back." We'll just remember my favorite game of that, by the way, was at halftime. They were 3-0 down to Tottenham, and everyone went, "Oh well, that game's over."
Well, I thought it was over too.
5-3.
I thought it was over too.
Yeah, and that's the kind of spirit that Liverpool's slowly starting to build. I'm not saying they could do that necessarily yet, but I'm saying they're on that kind of track. You can see it building up in Klopp as that manager who can inspire players to run through those brick walls for you, metaphorically.
So where does that leave Conte and Chelsea?
In a spot of bother, but he's still adjusting to the league. He's still getting used to the Premier League. I mean, that's a tough transition, particularly from international football to the Premier League, where it's helter-skelter and you can't really control games as much as you can on an international stage.
Okay. So you're willing to give him some more time on that regard? You basically, jury's out for you.
Jury's out. I mean, he's still trying to find his feet with how to play a system. I mean, he definitely wants to play 3 at the back. You can tell he wants to play 3.
But I don't think he can do that.
He doesn't have the personnel. He doesn't have the personnel. And so he's struggling trying to fit in Eden Hazard. He's trying to find ways to play all the players he wants to play in the positions that he wants to play them. And it's just not quite going. Yeah.
I actually agree. And I think that Chelsea are going to be flat track bullies this year. And
Entirely
I think they're
possible.
going to struggle against the top sides. I could see them, not getting the points against people like Arsenal, United, City, Liverpool, even Leicester.
Well, there's already a rumour going
pummeling
around.
The rest.
There's a rumour going around already that Conte's turned to the board at Chelsea and just said, this playing squad is not good enough. If you want the title, this squad won't get us there.
So they're going to dip into the pockets in January.
They might have to. I mean, they've got a problem now at right back.
Yep.
Where Ivanovic is, and it's centre back, obviously. But I mean, at right back now, Ivanovic, who used to be such a great right back,
he's a liability.
He is now.
He's the Moreno for
he is now. Weirdly enough, he's become that player, and that's kind of sad because he was always so good and so strong going forward. With actually very, it's the cliche, very nimble feet for a big man. But he was an excellent player who's now become a liability for them. And I think Conte's walked into that team, looked at it, and gone, okay. You didn't win the title just 2 seasons ago. Let's see what you've got. And what he's seen is, oh no, I can't win the title with this lot.
But surely he would have had some input.
I think he did have input, but I think we've seen for the last 2 transfer windows that Chelsea don't
They
really
do their
trust.
thing.
They don't trust their manager to buy a player. They just go, "Here's what you get," and have fun with that.
Well, I think the last time a manager truly built Chelsea was Mourinho.
Was Mourinho in 04?
In 04, yeah.
Yeah, that was his team, and that was his team, by the way, until he took it back over.
Yeah.
It was all the similar kind of players. It was the
correct.
same system. Nothing ever changed.
Yep, that's
Except
correct.
now they're starting to rebuild their style, their new identity, as it were.
And Terry's about 108 now.
Yeah. Well, he really does need to be put out to pasture.
He does. Just put him down. And you know what? Give the gun to what's his name?
What, Wayne Bridge?
Wayne Bridge. Give the gun to Wayne Bridge. He'll put old Yeller
he'd
down.
very happily put old Yeller down. If you don't know what we're talking about, just Google.
Yeah, definitely. Leicester Burnley.
That was a good game.
Welcome back, Leicester.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the winner's circle.
Yeah.
And, funnily enough, the same score as they had in the Europa League. I know we're not talking about the Europa League.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I actually think there's a couple of games
the
here.
Champions League.
Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, Leicester. I actually meant Champions League. Wow, underplayed you again.
Yeah.
You keep doing this to you,
I
and
know.
you prove us wrong.
Yep.
We like you.
Yeah.
But seriously, there's a couple of games in Europe that have been played that were actually quite good precursors
To
for
what's
the
about to happen,
performances
yeah.
in this competition.
I agree.
So Leicester just came off a 3-0 win against Feyenoord, I believe.
No, not Feyenoord. Bruges.
Bruges, sorry. And Mahrez got 2 goals.
Yes.
So they were coming into this game with some red-hot form. And, I mean, no disrespect to Burnley they've already beaten Liverpool. But Leicester completely outclassed them in my mind.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
their new
I think they're
signing,
back.
too. Oh, gorgeous.
Slimani.
Yeah.
I think the statistic is he's now scored 32 in his last 34 matches
Wow.
in all competitions for all clubs. that he's
I'm
played
pretty
for.
sure it's 23 in the last 24.
Sorry, 23 and 24. Yeah,
That's
there you go.
amazing. That's an amazing stat, though.
Amazing statistic.
I mean, that's a player in form that's coming into a team that is already relatively
Yeah.
dominant going forward.
Did you see Vardy's flick?
Oh, please.
It was stunning.
Yeah.
In fact, that whole move, Mahrez, who
yeah.
beat like 3 players,
Yeah.
and then Vardy's. I mean,
And
they
this
look back.
And their secret is when they get Mahrez in form,
Oh, yeah.
everyone else clicks around them.
That's
You know,
right.
he's the key player. If he hits some form, that whole team lifts around him, and all of a sudden they look unbeatable again. If he's flat, that whole team looks flat.
Well, I was going to ask you. I don't know if you read or heard the Captain Morgan's comments that it's unfair. He's basically trying to take some of the pressure off Mahrez and said it's not fair to assume that Mahrez is always going to be in top form. But I'm actually going to, although I agree with that in principle, what I'm also going to say is tough titties.
I agree with that. I agree with both of those statements.
Do you think
yeah.
Steven Gerrard was ever allowed to take a break at
No.
Liverpool? No. Literally never. Do you think literally any talisman at
Yeah.
any club, Thierry Henry at Arsenal,
Never took a week off.
take your pick.
Yeah.
No one is
Do you
allowed.
ever think that Rooney had a
No.
week off?
Well, every week now, really.
Crickets.
Every week.
Yeah, every week. No, but I totally take your point. I agree with
You
what
get
he's saying to try to
scrutinised.
take the pressure off.
But he's wrong.
And also, Mahrez wants that big move.
He does. He wants that big move. So
That's why he fired
Play
in
well
Europe.
then.
Yeah, that's right. But
well.
if he does that week in, week out, he'll be at Barcelona before we know it.
he will.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd let him go in January, though.
Oh, no. There's
It
no
has
chance.
to be end of the season.
There's no chance. Not while they're still on their European adventure.
In fact, bolder prediction.
Okay.
I think the Premier League is going to be bled at the end of this season.
Really?
Because I think it's going to be one of the best seasons that we've ever witnessed, and it's going to put so many players in shopping windows all over the world.
But
that
no
you're going
other-
to see
no other
Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Juve all stepping up because Juve's got quite a
PSG.
squad. And PSG. These guys are going to look at the Premier League and just say, "Wow,
Yeah,
pay it." Mahrez.
Yep.
I mean, maybe Vardy might be back in the window again. Who knows?
He'll be 30, though.
You know that Liverpool's going to have a few players that are back in the shop front windows.
Yep.
Coutinho's name is going to be thrown out there again.
Absolutely.
Mane a little bit too soon, but there's going to be lots of them. There's tons of clubs who have tons of players who are going to really be out there back in the spotlight after this season.
Yeah, but I would say this, the Premier League, even at the lower ends of the table now, have so much money that they can compete with, sure, not against Madrid and Barca.
Not reputationally.
No, definitely not in reputation, but money,
Yeah, but
Money
money doesn't talk
sings.
for everybody. A lot of guys want to win a championship and a league
understand.
with someone big. And
Would you rather play a whole season, if you were Mahrez, right, would you rather play a whole season as the star player, knowing that you could get Champions League football again at the end of this season, or would you rather go to, say, Barcelona and play 12 matches but win the title?
Barcelona.
Okay.
He's
fair.
already won the title at Leicester. It's over.
No, fair enough. And
If he was
that's a
at
valid
Liverpool,
point.
different story. Liverpool huff and puff and huff and puff and huff and puff. So if Coutinho left, for example, I would be devastated, but I would also get it. I would
Fair enough.
disagree and say, well, come on, Klopp's just come in. But we say that every manager.
Yeah.
So I would.
Klopp
I would
is a different beast, though.
I 100% agree. Like I said, I would disagree, but I would still understand it more so. I would say, okay, Liverpool have huffed and puffed every single year. They haven't done it. You want to leave to win titles, you win titles. Whereas Mahrez has won a title. He's
True.
won it. And he won it for them.
Yeah,
He
him
was
and
the player of
Vardy.
the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was the whole player of the season for the league, not just for Leicester. So, I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah.
But Leicester,
I shouldn't take away
Burnley.
from Kante there, by the way. But yeah.
No, of course. But 3-0 to Leicester deserved that win.
Very much so.
And I'm going to say
Back
that
in form,
they're
and I'm
definitely back in form.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And I am going to be worried for next week. But we will talk about that in the next podcast.
Yes,
Anyway, let's move to the next fixture.
Okay, look, I'm going to skip around a bit because I'm going to save some for a bit later, but I just want to skip through to City Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Because I quite... all I can say is, I mean, what do you say about Guardiola?
I'll tell you what I say about Guardiola.
Is he really this good? Seriously?
I think he might be. As scary as that is, I'll tell you what though, he irritated the hell out of me this week because he came out after that game and said, "Oh, Bournemouth are the best team we've played yet because they tried to play football." Nimrod? No, but hey, Nimrod, they lost 4-0 to you. Who tries to play football against your side,
That actually
Guardiola?
means they're idiots.
That's what I mean. I'm like, that's not a compliment,
So
Guardiola.
can we touch on that? I just want
Yes.
to say I've been giving Bournemouth as many props as possible, but I was really disappointed in how they approached this match. They came
Well, that's
out there
Eddie
with
Howe's
a bravado.
style, yeah.
But Eddie Howe was wrong. He was wrong this time.
I'm agreeing with you.
I have to say, never play for a draw, ever. But know who your opposition is and know that City are going to invite you out so that they can just hammer you. Don't
And they
give
hammered
them what
them.
they want.
And they hammered them.
I know you bought Ibe. I know Callum Wilson is playing well. I know you've got Wilshere. But you know what? Wilshere gave him the first goal.
Yeah, he was terrible.
He gave him the first
I thought
goal.
I thought he had a really poor game.
He had a very poor game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they just played the wrong tactics. I'm not saying that they would have somehow beaten City anyway. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I am saying that they could have done better than 4-0.
No, I agree. And this is what annoyed me about the goading from Guardiola, saying, oh, no, they're the best team we've played. No, they're the stupidest team you've played. There's a huge difference. No, I assume from Guardiola it is. And if it is, it's very clever. Don't get me wrong. Because he's basically saying, there's only one way to play football, and it's my way. Try and beat me my way. And then I'll give you all the respect in the world. P.S. You'll never be able to do it, but I'll give you all the respect in the world.
Exactly. But he's inviting people. He's basically saying, hey, guys, don't play 2 banks of 4 against me.
That's exactly what he's saying. He's saying, hey, pass it out from the back, and it'll all be fun and fine. And hey, and I'll give you props afterwards and say what a great manager you are. Two thumbs.
I don't want to throw this back on me because let's not make it all about me and Liverpool. But I actually think if there's going to be a team that can go toe-to-toe with them playing that game,
it'll be Liverpool.
It's Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because of how we're set up.
Yeah, because of the Gegenpress. I agree.
It's
the only team that and Tottenham.
Because of the Mane.
And Tottenham.
Yeah, and Tottenham. But until Kane really is on form and doesn't get given his goals, like he got given again, which we'll talk about, I think Liverpool are best place to do something.
Don't you think, though, with the return of Dembele for Tottenham, they now have a player who can press and drive from the midfield and bring the ball out from the danger zone?
Let's talk about Tottenham because I've not got much to say about the City-Bournemouth game apart from, obviously 4-0. Bournemouth played right into their hands, and they do not need an invitation with De Bruyne playing as well as he is. Sterling had a great game.
Yep.
You know, Moneybags, he's on form. I can't deny it.
No.
Iheanacho. Literally, that team is just looking. I mean, they've still got to get
Aguero back.
I mean, what was this going to be 14-0 if they had Aguero?
It's a scary prospect.
But look, I mean, let's just put that to one side. Tottenham, Sunderland, much more cagey than I expected. Sunderland, I know you've got this thing against Moyes. I know you don't like Sunderland. I know you hate the people there.
I very much so like Sunderland. Thank you very much. Your complaints to Simon Says.
I just dug that hole for that. He's gone. What's he going to do about it? Dig your way out of that, Garfield.
Okay.
It's a shovel.
That is dig up, stupid. We've used that joke before. No. Sunderland were poor. Let's be honest.
They were poor, but they were at least well organised.
They were. Oh no, and that one of Moyes' great strengths is he's an exceptional organiser of a team.
Correct.
But they did also concede 31 shots.
They did. But they stopped them, apart from one.
One.
And to be honest with you, of all the shots that Tottenham had, that was the worst one.
No, granted. But
Harry Kane was gifted that goal.
But they could not get a foothold in that game.
Yeah.
They didn't even look like... If it's even salvaging a point, I would have been the first one to stand back here like this. Bravo, sir.
Yeah.
But they couldn't. And that's going to be his biggest problem this year. Moyes' problem is he's going to go into games and we're going to say, oh, he set that team up well, but they still lost 1-0.
And you touched on Dembele. I think of all the prospects Sunderland would want to face, I don't think it's a well-organised Tottenham side with another star talisman, in their side, which they just, how many do they need?
No, well, Dembele's the player for Tottenham that brings the rest of the team together.
It's
and he improves the whole.
He does.
Because what he does best is everything in the middle. He
Takes pressure off Eriksen.
Yep, and
lets him do it.
Exactly. He can drive. He can carry the ball. He can tackle. He can press.
Yep.
He can hold from deep. He can pick out a pass. Everything he does from the center of the park is actually pretty amazing, especially considering 2 years ago Tottenham were openly on the market looking to sell him, and he's become arguably their key player.
I totally agree. It's almost like that moment triggered something in him. I don't know.
Well, I remember when United played Fulham about 5 years ago when Dembele was still playing for Fulham, obviously, and Fulham beat United at Old Trafford with Dembele running the show, and we were in the market for a midfielder, and everyone went, you could do a bit worse than him, Fergie. And we didn't buy anyone, and he went to Tottenham, and I thought at the time, he would have been so good. Yeah, he could have been so good for us. And then he was okay for a while, but now you're seeing the fruits come to bear. Like, he just looks amazing. I mean, yes, he's 29, but he could now run that Spurs midfield for the next 4 years, no dramas.
Big time.
No, I think a very fair result there for Tottenham, though.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how long Kane is out for. And I know that you want to make a comment about this.
I just think that Tottenham are going to be better now that Kane is gone.
Better is
because as their focal point, he's been poor. As their focal point, he's been poor. I would like to see them.
I can't wait to see
without him for a while.
Jansen have a go. I think he's a really good player.
I want to see Jansen with an extended run in a side that now has such an impressive midfield.
Yeah.
I just want to see what they look like now. I think Kane's bad form has been holding them back. These couple of goals that he's scored, I'm sorry, they've not been the game breakers,
well, they've been classic
really.
poachers' goals.
Poachers' goals. Yes, his one goal against Sunderland was the one that won the match, but Tottenham won that match long before that goal, if you know what I mean.
I do.
If it wasn't Kane, definitely someone else was going to score that. Literally any striker in the league was going to put that away.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that he is critical to their cause
Rooney.
right now. Except maybe Rooney. Except maybe... Or Balotelli if he was still in the league.
Balotelli maybe.
He would have missed. But
on
that Tottenham theme, Nasser Chadley and WBA.
Now, wasn't that an interesting game?
Discuss.
Okay, I will.
Discuss.
You know what I really like about WBA in that game?
You tipped West Ham, by the way.
Yeah, of course I did, because no one's going to tip WBA.
So did I.
Yeah, I know. But no, what I did like about... But I was at least trying to defend Pulis last week. What I liked about this, though, what I liked about it is Pulis finally went, okay, you know what? I'm going to let some players off the leash. He really let Chadley off the leash.
Do what you do at Tottenham.
Do what you do. Do it here, but do it with all the freedom in the world, knowing that you won't run into the spaces that Kane or Eriksen are running into.
They're not going to yell at you.
Yeah.
You know, Eriksen's not going to say, get out of my way.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, Rondon looked like $1 million.
How good was he?
He looked amazing.
That shot of his through the legs.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, but he always had that kind of capability to be a really good player.
I agree with you.
But now that he's got support there, you look at that team in a different light. I mean, they only had 30% possession in that game, and still just managed to run through them.
But it wasn't about the possession
number.
It was the quality of their possession.
They are very much so. If they continue in this vein, I'll make the big call. They will be Leicester light.
Whoa! My head exploded. I'm putting it back together as we speak. It's very difficult.
Well, you don't like that call?
Well, no.
He's got to keep playing in that tact.
The problem is that I liked the call, which is why it was such a massive head explosion for me. It's hard to argue with you. I want to see I want them to see back-to-back games of this level.
With the same tactic, by the way.
It's almost as though they caught West Ham off guard. Let's see how they do it away from home.
Well, West Ham,
they're in some strife. Can you explain it to me though, please? Because I'm at a loss. Obviously, their defense is a concern. They're all talking about when Carroll comes back, whatever. But
who cares?
But that's not their problem. They're scoring goals every match.
Yeah,
Antonio's a freak. Payet's a freak. Yeah. Together, they're double freaks.
Amazing.
They're getting goals.
They've still got Lenzini. I mean, it's...
exactly. they are leaking goals like
And
it's going out
and
of
one of their
fashion.
big problems is they didn't strengthen their defense.
Yeah.
And I
they've got
think
no
a lot
backbone.
of people ignored it because they were strengthening so well up front, and everyone went, "Whoa,
And
that
they had
team that they're
Payet.
building,
And
yeah,
that,
whoa."
And that Rabona, oh my god.
Oh yes, let's not even go back to the Rabona.
I'm stuck with it.
Because seriously, oh my god, it was so good.
It
No,
was so
like
good.
okay, no
It
more
was
talk
so
about that. Oh,
good.
it's so good.
I dream about it. I dream about
Okay,
it.
just a 2-second pause for the Rabona.
Anyway,
whew,
yeah.
okay, yeah, no, everyone was so fascinated by who they would add, like what great piece of bauble they'd add for that Christmas tree, that they forgot about the base.
Yeah.
They didn't worry about.
But having said that, the defense didn't look so bad that it needed an overhaul. It's seemingly like now they've lost confidence and it's just they're getting crushed.
I think they've got some real problems there.
4-2? I
know.
care how Leicester Light West Bromwich Albion are. I don't care.
No.
4-2 against West Ham, a team that was at one point threatening Champions League football.
Absolutely.
With a
But
positively amazing
I'll
strike
put it this
force.
way. I think that defense has found their level. Because with players like James Collins, like you can't expect
So basically,
to be
the
top
defense
four.
should be coached by David Moyes, is what you're trying to say.
They'd certainly be more organised. He'd put Payet at, left back to try and cover, but, that's
Sounds
beside
like
the
Benitez.
point. Yeah. And have him put crosses in from the 40-yard line. But sure, anyway.
I was very impressed with WBA, and I have to say Tony Pulis has impressed me what he's done. I've given him a hard go, but
Mark it in your diary, kids.
you have to respect performance like that. I mean, really, there were only 2 matches that I got wrong in my tipping this week, and both of them I'm shocked by. But
we will get to the other
I do
one.
have to say that the WBA game, they were really good for their
They
4-2.
were.
And I can't just say it's because West Ham were bad. I
thought that genuinely WBA were actually pretty damn
they just
good.
blew them off the park.
Yeah, they did.
Blew them
It
off
was
the park.
just gorgeous counter-attacking football at its best.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go to the next one.
All right, I've got Hull Arsenal. Hull at home to the arse.
Well, one of the easiest tips of the round there.
That was a pretty
As soon as Livermore got sent off, you just kind of
it was
went,
kind of
all
over.
right, well,
It
that's
was
over. Yeah.
Which I do feel bad. I'm so glad that Snodgrass scored again because that kid's just awesome.
He is, isn't he?
But
Considering he came back from that career-threatening
I know.
injury, and now
he's amazing.
just,
He's amazing, and it just rolls on for him. He seems unaffected by whatever else is going on at Hull. But as you can see, you make one mistake like that, Arsenal's they're gonna crush.
Particularly if you're down to 10 men. Arsenal will they'll put goals past you.
1-4 was a fair result. Arsenal
And it's
played
also,
like Arsenal.
and I will also say this, it's not a fair result to judge Arsenal on that performance.
No, I take nothing out of that match.
Exactly. It's kind of like, for them it was a gimme. For Hull it was just unfortunate. Everyone moves on.
One more time.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Look, Everton and Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough are not looking great at the moment.
But I don't know if I blame Middlesbrough. Firstly, that goal that they scored was obviously not a goal. We can all agree.
We can
on
all
that.
agree.
You agree?
Yeah.
You agree?
We
You
all
agree?
agree. Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone agrees.
Everyone in the studio agrees. There's only two
Everyone
of us.
agrees.
All I can say is Everton under Koeman, they got that goal, which not only was a goal against them, but it was a goal that shouldn't have been called a goal.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, teams can fall apart on that sort of thing.
They can.
It can make you restless. It can make you frustrated. You
And
can
under
snatch your
Martinez,
chances.
they probably would have.
100%. They would have imploded.
Yeah.
But under Koeman, I mean, they just got even more cohesive, more
Yeah.
focused, and there wasn't a player on the park who didn't contribute. I mean,
Yeah.
you got Seamus Coleman, who's proving that he's probably the best attacking defender in the league.
Well, that's why Chelsea and United chased him for a couple of years. I mean, he's a very good player.
Who wouldn't want him? Who
He's
wouldn't want him?
exceptional. When he gets bombing forward, there's very few players in the league that can come close to him.
I'd have him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd have him.
You'd have him over Glenn Johnson?
Well, I know that's a joke.
What about Nathaniel?
Have you taken your pills
Yeah,
today?
what about Klein? Would you have him over Klein?
Over Klein? No, I'm loyal.
Oh, okay, even though he's clearly a better player.
Clearly a better player.
Clearly a better player.
Clearly. According to whom?
Me.
Yeah, so that literally means nothing to me.
I would take Coleman.
I'm pretty sure I've excreted a fart that had more meaning
I'll tell you
than
what,
anything you've said.
I'd take wow. I'd take Coleman over Valencia. I'll give you that hot tip.
Yeah, fine. I mean, that's easy. You'd almost take Moreno over Valencia.
No, don't be stupid.
At least Moreno has potential. Valencia's got nothing.
Valencia's got legs, baby. He runs all day.
So what? So does Moreno. Doesn't run anywhere good.
All right, you shut up.
But Everton for their 3-1 win. I mean,
Excellent
PS,
value.
Dark horses.
Yeah.
Dark horses.
With again, one of the best managers in the league. And all of a sudden, he's got
can we get
Barkley
real?
firing as well.
Can we get real? I mean, they are serious title contenders.
Title contenders.
Title contenders. Title contenders. I need to see them have a run of games against the
Title
top...
contenders?
Title contenders.
Top 4 contenders, definitely.
Title contenders.
Title contenders?
This year's Leicester.
Title contenders?
This year's Leicester.
Title contenders?
This year's Leicester.
No, I can't go any higher.
He can't.
No, I can't go any higher than that. Wow, that's a massive call.
I'm not saying
no
they,
one can get
I didn't
injured.
say they're going
and
to win,
Okay.
and they're not my tip. I just said they are dark horses, and they are at the very least deserving of the
They
title
should be
contenders.
respected. They
deserve more
Yeah.
respect than even Liverpool. They look more sturdy in defence. They're more consistent at the moment. I've yet to see them against a run of top teams. See how they go.
Well, I will say this as well. Even Gareth Barry looks like he's got a new lease of life next to
Good goal.
Boye. Like,
good goal. 600 games under his belt. That mock is off his back.
yeah.
I mean, he's firing. They're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Lukaku.
Oh, please forget about it.
The man is a god.
If he does stay fit for
Garfield
an entire
is praying
season,
to an effigy of him
Yeah.
right now.
Hey-oh.
Lukaku.
if he does stay fit for a whole season, I will back you on. They could be title contenders.
Yeah, I'm not saying they'll win, but I mean, if they were second or third at the end of the year, I'd say, well, they were certainly in contention. Therefore, they were contenders.
Yeah, no,
I don't
fair
know why we
enough.
find it so hard to say.
No, okay. I will
It's
back
weird.
down. I will back down and maybe agree with you. I want
The same way
I want
Leicester
to
were
wait until
contenders
maybe
last
I
year.
want to wait until maybe round 10 before I can give it a proper opinion.
You'll
but,
still be saying
okay.
it. Mark my words.
Okay. Well, we'll mark down that one as well.
Done.
It's the day that Simon Says hated on Sunderland and said that Everton were going to be title contenders.
I didn't hate on Sunderland. That was you.
No, I'm just giving you the shovel back.
You and the Moyes. You and the Moyes.
I just don't like Moyes.
Found his level.
Look,
he's just degrading the people of Sunderland.
I'm not degrading the
I
people of
say that
Sunderland.
Sunderland deserve better. And if you vote for me, wait a minute, this isn't an election.
What are you talking about?
What am I
Thanks,
talking about?
Donald. Next one.
Well, you know what? Because of that, we're going to talk about Watford United.
Oh, are we?
We're going to talk about it.
Do
In
we
fact,
have to?
you are going to talk about it.
Okay.
You need to talk about what the hell is going on. In fact, there's two things I want you to talk about. Number one, the match. Because I know what I think of the match,
Yep.
but I want to know what you think, because I know we were exchanging texts during the match, and
Yeah.
you were none too pleased.
I was none too pleased.
But on top of that, I want to throw a statistic out at you.
Uh-huh.
Jose Mourinho, 104 matches for 14 losses. His next 32 matches, also 14 losses.
Terrible.
In context of the match,
Moyes-esque
discuss.
statistics.
Discuss. Genuinely, I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, well, let's start on the match. I thought that we were tepid, frankly appalling. I thought Mourinho got pretty much every decision of that game incorrect.
Even the starting lineup?
Definitely the starting lineup. Definitely. Oh, mate, the starting lineup was atrocious.
So literally start to finish.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to this because this is Mourinho's own words from July. Wayne Rooney is a 9 or a 10, maybe a 9.5, but never a 6 and never an 8. So where did he start him?
Number
Freaking
8.
number 8.
Number 8.
Thanks,
Number
Barney. Great Simpsons reference there. What is going on with... I was trying to explain this to you just off air before we started the podcast. Every manager since Ferguson has somehow revered Rooney to the point where he cannot be dropped from a team, and I cannot even fathom it. It flabbergasts me. I can't even wrap my tiny little brain around the fact that no matter what happens at any club or international level, Rooney has to play.
Well, you've got a theory on this, don't you?
I do have a theory on this. This is the only thing I can come back to because literally nothing else makes sense to me. I think in his contract it must be written that if he's fit, he plays. I think it's they are contractually obliged to play
folding
him.
a tinfoil hat as we speak.
No, and that...
Because aliens are probing us. They're reading our minds.
Yeah, no, and you know what? Sadly, I agree with you. I agree that it sounds tinfoil hat mad crazy, but can you explain to me in any other way why he keeps playing?
Well, I can tell you why.
Okay, tell me.
Well, no, I can't tell you why because I'm not them, but I can hypothesize.
Sure.
And my hypothesis is that he has done enough in his career that has warranted a skewed view of his current poor form.
Yeah, but
Because that's every player ever who's ever been good.
Okay, and that's how fans are going to react to it. But this is Mourinho. This is the guy who's paid to get in there and make some tough decisions and said, I'll never play him as an 8. I'll never play him as a 6, and then threw him in at 8.
Teddy Sheringham was never good, and he started a lot of matches.
Wow.
The world's most prolific big toe.
You know what? At least that big toe scored goals, unlike Wayne Rooney.
Because of David Beckham and Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, well, okay. No, I'll pay that one. But seriously, can anyone, anywhere, tell me why Rooney starts? Simon Says has a theory. I have a theory. Please drop a theory on our Facebook page.
Please
Just go
do,
to Studs Up, by the way.
This is big.
I cannot fathom it. I mean, seriously, every manager from Moyes to Van Gaal to Mourinho have come into that club after Ferguson nearly sold him because he kind of saw what was happening.
He saw he was done.
He saw he was done and nearly shipped him off if he hadn't retired. But every manager since has moved in and built a team around him. They've crowbarred him in any way they can. I cannot understand it.
Wasn't Rooney basically as good as gone? And then essentially Ferguson's retirement
Saved
him. Because the new manager came in, Moyes
and re-signed him immediately.
Re-signed him immediately for the fans for whatever reason.
5.5 years.
Moyes doesn't know anything.
5.5 years.
You know,
and you know what? And
he's
at the
found
time,
his level at Sunderland, and Garfield hates Sunderland. And
no, I don't. But I mean, it seemed like a decent enough. I didn't agree with it at the time to re-sign him on a contract, but I could see some logic to it.
Yeah, I mean, helping young players, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and we still had Van Persie at that stage. We had some good strikers. He also basically forced Kagawa out of the club because we re-signed him. I thought that was a bad decision.
Well, yeah, but no mean feat.
No mean feat at all. I mean, but I don't understand how he keeps getting game time. I mean,
so then Mourinho. Discuss.
Well,
it took him 104 matches to get his first 14 losses.
Well, he's gone from the special one to the average one.
I mean, even average, he's kind of below average. When you've got
it's terrible. Yeah,
you've got to be playing better. And I know it sounds like we're being unduly harsh, perhaps when you look at the game against City, but against Watford, and I mean no disrespect to a Watford side
who played exceptionally well,
West Ham inside out,
away
from home, with a magnificent performance there, but Man United should be beating Watford, whether they're home or away or at a neutral venue. So they lost 3-1. And the biggest issue is Watford were good for that 3-1. They were good for it.
Yep.
That was their match. And if it wasn't for boy wonder Rashford getting you one goal, I didn't see where the other goal was going to come from.
No,
I mean,
there was
yes,
no one.
Pogba had that one scintillating. I mean, on the website I call it nuclear because I mean, Jesus, I thought that crossbar was going to shatter.
I know.
The ball
he does know how to hit
bounce
him. Yeah.
until it was back out of the 18-yard box.
I know.
How hard did he hit the
he knows how to hit it.
Flush.
Yeah.
He didn't hit the top of the.
I know.
It
Just
nuts. It was.
And Ibra
nuts.
had a good chance as well, but
He did. So this comes down to Mourinho. I mean, a manager can't go from being that spectacularly successful and good at what he does to this. So has he finally met his match in terms of pressure? Is United a cauldron that he wasn't ready for, more so than Real Madrid somehow?
Well, no, I
more
think,
so than Chelsea?
No, you know what it is? I think with Madrid, he walked in there after he'd won the treble at Inter, and he knew that he had the lay of the land. Yeah, he walked in there and went, I'm the king, and you all have to follow me. He's coming off that terrible Chelsea season where he got sacked, and he's walking into United saying, hey, I'm the king, and everyone's gone, are you though? Are you?
Yeah, and there might even be clauses in his contract we don't know about. Like, you just got sacked last year. We have a release clause so we don't have to pay you if you don't perform.
Maybe.
You know, because, I mean, these are sorts of things that business people do. And the Glazers, at the end of the day, are business people.
Very much so.
So they would have seen this litany of managers that have just gone wrong at the club.
Yeah.
You know, for a United side that had one manager over an eternity to then having three in quick succession, you have to say that... there would more than likely be something in that contract that's clearly troubling Mourinho.
Yeah, well, I mean, Moyes had the same thing. If you don't qualify for the Champions League, we can...
but I'm also going to say something that you may not agree with.
Okay.
I genuinely think this is something they're just going to snap out of.
How do you mean?
I just think they're going to go on a run of games, and it's going to be like this never happened. I just feel like it's only going to take a couple of games for... Ibrahimovic to fire, for Mkhitaryan to fire, for Martial when he comes back from injury to fire, for Rashford, Pogba. Too many top players. Yes, you've got a brittle-ish defence. You can look brittle in defence.
Because of the system.
But Liverpool is also brittle in defence.
Yeah.
And we look like we're dominating the world
right
now.
That's a system problem, though. That's, again, down to Mourinho. And again, also, I'll just come back to that for one sec. He had a go at Luke Shaw, who, in my opinion, was probably the best
I
player
agree.
on the field.
That blew my mind. So that's
That's
where
a man
I come
under
back
pressure.
To your comment that maybe this is a really deep-seated issue with
Yeah.
Mourinho because attacking someone like that is just so unbecoming of Mourinho.
Yeah.
Mourinho used to foster his players. Now, I mean, he's attacking the best player on the
Yeah.
pitch, basically.
Yeah, and this is
I'm
this
very
is one of the,
confused by
this
that.
is one of these weird reasons as well. But why I know a lot of Manchester United fans were really hesitant about getting him as the manager because of all the antics that come along with him. He's already basically told our best player that he was the reason we lost the game.
Which is bizarre. Why would you
It
do
doesn't
that?
make any sense. So,
Have you heard Klopp do that?
I know, and
Guardiola?
nor would you.
Look at Guardiola.
Damn.
In fact, Guardiola went the
Opposite way.
And
yeah.
he-
The
he
best
so-
player in the world is Claudio Bravo. He's better than Messi.
Better than
Yeah,
Messi.
like,
In
what
fact,
is
I'm going to put him
going
as
on?
striker next week because he's that good with his
Yeah,
feet.
exactly. I mean, there's something fundamentally wrong with what Mourinho's doing, whether it's pressure, maybe it is. I can't wrap my head around it yet, and they might snap out of it, but they won't until they change that midfield system. And that comes from dropping Rooney. You can't play Pogba and Rooney.
I'm telling you
in
right
that
now,
same
he's
team.
not dropping Rooney.
But you cannot play Pogba and Rooney in that same
I
team.
just think he's going to have a chat to Rooney and change the way Rooney affects the game. I don't think he was that
You mean
bad.
zero effectiveness?
I didn't mind him on the right wing
you
against.
kid- oh, yeah,
for
okay.
that
He's
small
okay
patch of
out
time.
wide.
That small patch of time out wide against City, he did quieten City down.
Yeah. And
Don't say he didn't,
No,
'cause he
no,
did.
and I'll agree. He's still okay. He can do a job for you out wide.
So if he's got a contract,
A job
note,
for you out wide.
But if he's got a contract note that says he has to play if he's fit,
I'd play him out
Let's
wide.
say it's true. Let's say
Yep.
you're right. Let's say the tinfoil hat comes off and the
Yep.
reality hat comes on. It's still the same story. Well, at least play him out wide.
Absolutely.
Play
But you-
Rooney and Rashford with Ibra in the middle.
Yep.
And you've kind of and then haul Rooney off at half time
Yep.
and bring on Mkhitaryan and say, well,
Yep.
this is just what we're doing. You're getting older.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan's coming in. We're still honouring your contract. Done.
Yep, done.
Take him
But
off
you-
the 10 minutes if you need
Yeah,
to.
I know. Just throw him on for the last 10. I don't care.
Whatever it is.
Well, they have to start building that midfield around Pogba. Otherwise, what's
For
the
sure.
point of buying him? Like, what has been the point of
He
buying
has
him?
hamstrung Pogba.
Yeah.
He has taken a player who is dynamic
Yes.
and put him in a rigid system.
Yeah, and it doesn't
Literally
work.
craziness.
And you know what?
It's
and
nuts. It's
but
completely nuts.
you
I
can
don't
put
get it.
him, by the way, in a rigid quote-unquote system as long as you still let him be dynamic. You could
totally.
put him with like
But he
Herrera
hasn't.
and Schneiderlin
You
and
can
let
tell he
him do
hasn't.
whatever he wants.
You can tell he has.
No, and this is the biggest problem. Why do you pay world record money for a player that you're just going to stick in a system that you know he can't play in? It's
literally-
mind-boggling.
Again, I know I keep bringing this back to Liverpool, but Pogba is Gerrard, right?
Yeah.
Like that. They are the
Yeah,
same
yeah, he's the
sort of
reincarnation,
player.
yeah.
He's the same sort of player.
Yeah.
You know, midfield dynamo. I mean,
Box
you
to
can't-
box, can score amazing
Box to
goals,
box.
can assist.
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Let him do whatever the hell he needs to
Yeah.
do
Like
to
they did
dominate
at
the match.
Juventus.
Like they did at
Dodoi.
Juventus. And like they did at France. I mean, the moment they hamstrung him in France, he played awful.
He's gone, yeah.
And the moment they've done it here at United, the
Yeah.
same problem. That's one of the most startling conundrums for
Yeah.
me for United. How you can have the best midfielder in the world, and I'm getting bashed on the Liverpool websites for defending.
I've been reading.
Yeah, for defending Pogba. But I'm not defending him. I don't give a crap where he is, whether he's at United or at Liverpool, whatever. The player is the player.
Yeah.
And he is fantastic.
He is. He's amazing.
Mourinho is playing him wrong, and I will stand by that to the day I die.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, everyone talks about, oh, no, like, he was only good when he had Pirlo behind him. Well, we've got Michael
Oh,
Carrick.
who says that? That is so
No, but
ridiculous.
this is some of the comments I've read. But
They're
even then, I'm
idiots.
like, okay, we've still got Michael Carrick, who's the Premier League's closest equivalent to Pirlo. Hey, let him off the leash.
Joe Allen. Come on, that was funny.
Yeah, no, that was funny. Please. Yeah, the Welsh Xavi. Thanks very much.
Pirlo and Xavi.
Oh, dearie me.
Okay, so, I mean, look, my conclusion is that I still think that this is a blip. I still think that they're going to come good because if nothing else, they still have Ibra. They still have Rashford, who is in incredible form.
amazing,
The
yeah.
guy's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is
England
amazing.
should just be licking their lips that he's
Yeah.
learning.
Well, you were saying
from
he
Ibra.
he is kind of like a youngish Michael Owen in terms of the excitement
100%.
you get from watching him play.
Absolutely.
And
The
I agree.
excitement, he's got all those, that boy wonder appeal. You just
Yeah.
know he's coming through. He's going to be this big kid for England. I mean, him and Kane could be a really devastating partnership in years to come.
forget about it.
devastating. So
Yeah.
I can't think that a United side that has those players, with Pogba as well, and Mkhitaryan, and even Mata, I mean, it is a good enough side to get victories. I'm not going to go so far to say that I rule them out of being a title contender now, but I do put them well and truly firmly behind City until further notice.
Absolutely, and I would have to agree.
Yeah. So I want to put them aside because we could wax on all day about that.
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
Southampton, Swansea. I know it was a squeak through from Southampton.
I thought they were pretty good value for it.
I thought that the 1-0 really underplayed how good they were.
Yeah, I thought they were good value for their 1-0.
Redmond, Mr. Sitter, could have easily been another goal there. Charlie Austin, a couple of really good
opportunities. And isn't he in good form?
He is. So, honestly, that could have easily been 2-3
By the way, from the forgotten man.
Yeah.
To all of a sudden, boom. Exploded back on the scene.
Hey, he's in my fantasy team.
Oh, please, forget about it.
He's in my fantasy side. So.
Good call. So, no, I thought that they were really good value, and I think Swansea have a couple of issues. Their next run of fixtures is really tough. Really tough. And I think after 10 games, they're going to be looking at that situation in 100%. The bottom three thinking, uh-oh, what have we done?
The only thing that's making them happy is that Stoke have forgotten how to play football.
Which is true, but I will say this as well, that Swansea's biggest problem is they sold their captain, who was also easily their best player in Ashley Williams, and they didn't adequately even try to replace him.
Is he better than Sigurdsson?
Sigurdsson is a great player, don't get me wrong. Player. Okay, fine, equal best player. But Ashley Williams was their captain, he was their leader from the back. Absolutely. He was the one that would snuff out danger for them. Without him,
he was captain.
Yeah, without him, they just don't look and that's the reason also, one of the reasons why Everton looks so great all of a sudden at the 100%. Back.
Yeah, you're not going to convince me otherwise. I totally agree with you. And see how much Everton have not missed Stones.
At all. Who needs him when you've got someone as good as Ashley Williams?
When you get £47.5 million.
Oh, my God. Thank you. Snap your hand off every time. Woo. Yeah, sorry, you were going to go to the next game.
Yeah, Stoke. Just because that leads right into it, doesn't it? I mean,
yep.
Stoke, they're just in shambles. They're in shambles. Crystal Palace, by the way, looked excellent.
Like I told you.
Shredded. Like
I told you, my friend. If you can get Zaha in particular running with Benteke... that is all of a sudden a team.
Okay, I'm gonna throw something else out at you. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we didn't have that incredible season last year with Leicester winning as they did, and you didn't have Liverpool resurgent as they are now, when you look at the context of this season with West Ham falling and all of that, I mean, Crystal Palace in another year could have been maybe
fourth.
Champions League.
Yeah, could have been fourth.
At least fighting for it.
Yeah, I could still see them finishing 6th.
100%. Yeah, I really could. Yeah. I would be very careful if I was any of those top sides having a bad run of form.
Yeah, coming up against them. Yeah,
yeah, it's.
And you know what? And the weird thing was, Benteke didn't even play that well, but he's so good at just
getting. In, didn't he?
That's right, and he's so good also at just making sure defenders have problems.
But Townsend was that match.
Yeah, no, he was excellent,
spectacular.
But what I'm saying is because those central defenders get so caught up in Benteke, these 3 little nimble bastards in behind them can just do so much damage.
They're so good.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm really impressed with Pardew's side.
Yeah,
he's done a great job. He's got them.
He's finally got his own players.
He has, hasn't he?
Yep.
That says a lot because I don't know. I was kind of iffy about Pardew because I mean he's had some patchy runs of form.
He is a patchy manager.
But I also feel like Newcastle is maybe not a fair club to judge any manager by because they are really tough.
Yeah.
Their fans are demanding.
But I mean, look,
Mike Ashley's just a lunatic.
Yeah, he is a lunatic.
That's obviously a very tough club to manage.
Yeah, I mean, there's not very many really bad managers that can take you to an FA Cup final like he did with West Ham that year.
100%.
And
if they would have won that match.
They would have won that match if it wasn't for Stevie G. Yeah, but I mean, you don't get a club that far. I even hesitant saying it because I'm like, well, Martinez with Wigan. But you know what I mean?
True.
But you know what I mean? You can't be a bad manager and take a club that far in a competition and nearly win it without having something about you. So he clearly has something, and they finally built the club around what his vision is, which is speedy wingers and a big target man. And all of a sudden,
he's won me over.
Yeah.
Look, you were talking about it from week 1, and I've definitely come around to it. I wanted to really see how they go, and yes, it's Stoke, and yes, they're in shambles, but Crystal Palace put them to the sword.
Absolutely.
I mean, Sunderland are also in shambles, but Tottenham only got 1 goal against them.
Yeah.
So, just in context, I mean, I'm not trying to say Crystal Palace are now as good as Tottenham.
No.
But they are looking very good, and this is the league this year.
Yeah.
Are you telling me Crystal Palace couldn't on their day beat United or Liverpool?
Absolutely they could. And you know what? With our shambles of defences, you think those crosses coming in for Benteke? Yeah, of course they could beat us.
For sure. It could definitely happen to both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see any
Hell,
of those
they could
top
beat
teams.
Chelsea.
They could even beat City.
Yeah. Well, mind you, bizarrely, they're one of the few teams who I could see causing City genuine problems.
With the
Real
strength
problems.
of Benteke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, honestly, I'm 100% with you. I think Crystal Palace they're good for their form now, and people should be looking over their shoulder.
They should be. I think that they're going to have a really good run.
Big week. It was an excellent week.
It was an excellent week. Well, I hope that you enjoyed the review podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please download us on the studsup-football.com website, or you can find us on Facebook. Just type in Studs Up. We'd love it if you guys would leave a comment or a like. Please like us. We're really nice. And we will see you next time for... Well, yeah, okay. He doesn't like Sunderland, but he's a nice guy. So join us next time. We'll be doing a preview